Hey, it's Tyler with T-Mann Tarot, and I am back with another tarot deck review. And this might be a short and simple, sweet, to the point tarot deck review because there is a lot to this deck, but it's also very simple and straightforward. Today we are talking about the Essentials Tarot by Pablo Montt. This is a Lo Scarabero published deck. It comes in this tuck box, and along with it, has the two kind of Lo Scarabero, the deck card information, and then information about the deck. It says a special tarot invitation. Thank you for choosing this deck of magical cards. Lo Scarabero invites you to learn more about your tarot deck and follow the fool's footsteps into the fascinating world of tarot, and other stuff about just the Lo Scarabero website. And then you get this little paper guidebook. And as you know, this is probably a Lo Scarabero printed deck directly from them. I believe right now Llewellyn Manufacturers is also printing Lo Scarabero decks. And this is why you might notice now that some of the decks are coming in sturdier boxes, have a thicker guidebook. This is directly from them, so you don't really have, there's an introduction, and then it goes right into small descriptions of the cards. So let's take a deep dive quickly with this. Essential Tarot is a minimalist yet decorative tarot deck based on the traditional tarot structure. It simplifies the message using as few elements as possible. The concept is to reach directly the main idea of the cards and reduce the superabundance of symbolism, excess information, and distracting concepts. The Essential Tarot minimalist core constructed around functionality. It is designed to help both the reader and the querent to easily distinguish between major arcana and the aces, numerals, the court cards, and each of the groups share some graphic contributes. Whoa, that was weird. It is designed to help, I'm going to try this again. It is designed to help both reader and querent to easily distinguish between the major arcana and the aces, numerals, and the court cards, as such as each of these groups share some graphic attributes. Okay, first and foremost, when you make a deck, please don't use like italics or scripted font. Some people, like myself, whoop, there goes my charger, messing it up the view. As I was saying, fancy fonts, with people who are dyslexic, don't help us very much. It makes it a little bit harder to read through. The deck was also conceived to create a quiet and minimalist beauty. The purpose is to help the reader and querent reach a status of clarity, free from anxious and Sorry guys, I'm really having a moment here. It's a pip deck. Let's call it what it is. It is a pip deck. It is a minimalist pip deck. There's not a lot of images. There's not a lot of detail, but it is very powerful. Let me tell you that. And I bought this deck originally when I thought that I could do without the pictures. Boy, was I wrong. This is probably the second deck in my collection that I bought for myself. So while I am still a new practitioner, right? I thought I could handle not having the images on the cards, the Pamela Coleman Smith illustrations that we're used to on the Rider-Waite-Smith decks. And I quickly learned that I didn't, and so this has been shelved for a while, and I actually now started bringing it out because I've learned the decks and the cards and their meanings, and now I kind of just want the intuitiveness of all these different parallels that go with the cards to come out intuitively based on what I'm picking up or what the collective needs to hear when I do a Tuesday night live, which don't forget, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. I do a collective Zodiac live reading on Instagram and TikTok. And also, too, I now have this in front with clients, and it's a bit of a challenge with clients because it's that you have to trust me based on the images that are there. Just for example, so this is the World card, or the Wheel of Fortune. Guys, I haven't had coffee today, and it's been a rough start. Whoo! Wheel of Fortune, right? We're used to this. We're used to this imagery. I'm going to find the World. The Wheel of Fortune. I don't know what I'm talking about. I do. This is just a rough start. But here is the imagery of the Wheel of Fortune in the Essentials Tarot deck. Right? All of these cards have a very similar arch with a color scheme in the background, so you can pull in color imagery and color theory and emotional basis here, but it's just the wheel. Nothing else about the hierarchies of the elevated zodiac signs in the corner. No possible Anubis, snake, or the Sphinx at the top. It's just the deck. And that's really the vibe of the entire deck, right? This is the Hanged Man. It is just a rope, right? They didn't, which Los Scarabero does, they usually follow the Marseille point of view where the strength and justice are flipped, but they didn't flip it, right? In Rider-Waite-Smith, strength is 8, justice is 11. In the Marseille tarot deck, they have those flipped. So then justice is 8 and strength is 11. But they stayed to the true notion that we know from the Rider-Waite-Smith deck when those two numbers were swapped. This is why I also like to encourage people, don't get a pip deck right away. Get something that is either a RWS illustrated deck or an RWS clone, right? A Rider-Waite-Smith clone, so you can still see where you kind of get this imagery from. Because that's where all the books are going to be talking to you about those descriptions. So if you can kind of find a parallel when you're reading your books that have that RWS imagery, you can find it easier. Unlike this deck, when you kind of have that knowledge of past, you can understand this Four of Swords, right? And that's what it is with this pip deck. It is all just 6 wands. And I'm starting to enjoy this kind of notion of simple imagery here, because then it comes down to understanding the periodic table of tarot that I have in my brain about understanding energies of cards. So it's a very simple, easy deck. I really enjoy it. Super easy to shuffle. Again, I think Los Scarabero is my favorite card quality of a deck because they are just simple, lightweight deck. These are skinnier, it feels. Right? This is a standard size. Here is They're a little bit narrower, and a little bit shorter. Not by much, but significant enough to feel that this is wider than this. So these cards fit easily into the hands. Nice card stock with a nice snap back to them, right? You can bend. They will crease if you really like fold them in half, but it will. I've had these for a while and they haven't truly started bending too much out of hand. Let's do a description, shall we? Quickly, let's look at Three of Swords, right? And so you don't get much of a deep description or a deep intellectual description. It says for the Three of Swords, the Lord of Pain. Conflict, pain, separation, removal. That's all you get. You get like a theme, the Lord of Pain, and then some words that go with it. That's how all of the minors are. It's short and sweet, but let's do the Sun. Sun card, one of my favorite cards. The symbol, sun, with 12 rays. This background could only be yellow, and only the sun could appear in the arcanum, as its unique symbol. It is the center of the galaxy, the father of the... Why is this so hard today? Sorry, friends. I'm pulling it together. The center of the galaxy, the father of creatures on earth, the symbol of the divine in all its spirituality. It has 12 rays, like the 12 months of the calendar and the 12 signs of the zodiac. It towers above all, conscious of its immense power. You have to admit, he's right. He is the Lord of the cosmos, meaning truth, charisma, victory, health, vitality, masculinity. I don't think this is the best guidebook, and this is why I have the books that I recommend. 78 Degrees of Wisdom, Kitchen Table Tarot, Tarot No Questions Asked, Holistic Tarot. Those books I love because they have a lot of meanings. This is honestly an elevated tarot deck for the more established tarot reader who doesn't really need to use the guidebook or the one that it comes with, because you're not going to gain too much knowledge from the guidebook. I would not recommend this as a beginner deck. But friends, a closer look at the Essentials Tarot deck is coming up right now.